How you doing, YouTube? Matt with Massive Beer Reviews, back to get another review. It's fucking Jenny time, baby. It's always Jenny time. But in particular, tonight, it is a particular kind of Jenny time in the form of their dark chocolate Scotch ale. Jenny, I've done a couple of their beers. More notably, their cream ale. It's one of my favorite kind of readily available, macro-ish kind of beers floating out there. I love that beer to no end. But I've done a couple of their other beers, too. I just recently did a dry hopped version of that cream ale, but this is kind of one of the semi-regular ones I can kind of get around my area. Actually, it comes from George. Thank you very much, George. You all know George from Massive Troll Reviews. He gets up that way. His baby, mama, his woman, lives up in the Rochester area, so he picks stuff up randomly from time to time, and he dropped this one on me with a couple other beers, so thank you very much, dude. But yeah, this is the one that, I don't know if this gets all the way down to me, but I know this kind of brew house style stuff does find its way locally. So anyway, as far as what it says in this bottle, it says Genesee Pilot Batch Dark Chocolate Scotch Ale. It is 7.5% alcohol by volume. Little story time over here. Full-bodied Scotch ale, elegant and complex with decadent flavors and aromas from bittersweet, hedonistic. Ooh. How about that? Artisanal chocolates. It's a mouthful. 72% dark chocolate of that chocolate, and that'd be that. Label-wise, it is their brewhouse stuff. They pretty much, or their pilot series, I should say. Pilot batch. The labels are all pretty much the same. So yeah. Let's get some Jenny up in me. Because the world is always in a better place when Genesee is involved. That is a twisty, my friend, so I could have twisted it off. Yeah. Gotta love me some twisties. I would poop on twisties, but as we all know, due to CL, they still use twisties. I think they do, even on their newer bottles. And they're a fantastic brewery. So anyway, first thing first, small head on it. Give it a bit of a gentle pour. So, that and the combination of it being a twisty, you're not talking about the best kind of sealable kind of container. So there could be a little loss of carbonation. And it's got a rich kind of caramel color to it. You're talking about a dark chocolate Scotch ale. You almost assume it'd be a little bit bigger based off of just kind of knee-jerk on the style of beer and the fact that there's dark chocolate involved. But as far as Scotch ale goes, it's definitely kind of in that kind of correct spectrum of color. You can see through it. Nothing too crazy hazy. Just kind of a rich mahogany with a bit of brown to her. Let's see if we can get a nose on her. Ooh, that is very sweet. Candy-like, not even candy-like, confectionery-like kind of caramel. Oh yeah, that's really nice. It's almost like if you took a little bit of caramel, mix it in with a little bit, just a little bit of kind of raisinettiness, and then dolloped it with a kind of a chocolatey kind of liqueur to it, almost like a touch of like frangelica or something like that. Ah man, rich, dessert-like kind of. It's not ice cream, it's not pastry, it's not like buttercream, it's just more of kind of something a little bit sweet-wise than syrup. Man, it says chocolate, but I'm just getting more of that kind of caramel vibe from it. A very rich kind of chocolatey caramel, let's put it that way. Let's just mash them both together, which kind of makes sense, because depending on what kind of Scotch ale you're going for, I mean, if you're going for that super smoky thing, I get it, but a lot of Scotch ales do come off very rich kind of caramel, like kind of mashed that with that dark chocolate. It's kind of landing exactly where you'd expect to be if you kind of knew what kind of Scotch ale it was off the bat. Yeah, it smells absolutely fantastic, albeit a little bit thin. It does have this nice rich kind of syrupy, I hesitate to use that word because it comes off negative a lot of times, kind of caramel chocolate thing. I can repeat myself 19 times more, but I'm just going to dive into it. Cheers. That's a tasty beer. That is a tasty beer. Is it a Scotch ale? I don't know. Sure. I mean, whatever. What it is, it could be a rich dark brown ale. Could be a Scotch ale. Could be kind of almost like a, I don't know what kind of beer it is. Just a rich kind of confectionery, like almost like there's lactose involved in it, kind of rich, desserty beer that's not too sweet. And that's the weird part, because I keep kind of throwing these kind of confectionery, candied, sweet, kind of things like that out there, but it's not overly sweet. It's more of like a matured sweet to where it has a bit of balance to it. It's just not that kind of hard candy sweetness. More of like I said, like a softer kind of confectionery sweet. And even in that sense, you can end up with a little bit too much sweetness. This is kind of, I wouldn't say reserved, but sweet enough to where it doesn't get too cloying. Let's put it that way. Tasty. Nice mouthfeel to it. A little bit thin. Carbonation is a little bit small. Again, it could be the way the beer's made. It could be the fact that it's twisty. I don't know. But it's a tasty beer. Another really good beer from a brewery, I honestly think just gets kind of poo-pooed on for just being kind of like a genera brewery. And while they do make kind of macro-style, adjuncty, kind of lagerish kind of stuff, they also make creative stuff. And this is in a line of a lot of stuff that they do. Sure, they get a little bit kooky with some things. They did the salted caramel porter, which I think was fun, but very kind of getting into kind of alcohol poppy kind of realm. But, you know, from the cream ale to beers like this to their Rescue and Spies, which is a bourbon barrel aged old ale, to, like you said, the dry hopped cream ale. They're do creative things up there. And I think a lot of people who end up traveling the New York Thruway in upstate New York, kind of going past Rochester area, never really think about stopping at Jenny. And I think it's you do yourself a disservice if you don't stop there, because they make fun stuff just like this. So there you go. Let's talk about it. Is it one of the better Scotch ales I've had as of late? I don't know. I mean, if you give it to me blind, would I say it's a Scotch ale? I don't know what I would call it, but what I would call it would be tasty in a kind of more kind of desserty beer realm, but at the same time, tasty stuff nonetheless. Value and availability. It's Jenny, man. I assume this is coming in 4 to 6 packs for anywhere between $8 to $12, because that's what Jenny does. And leave you with, if you like what we like this. If you like that kind of caramel sweetness, caramel beerness, let's put it that way, that you get from a lot of English old ales with time on it. But you want things to be a little bit more kind of chocolatey caramel as opposed to that kind of figgy datey raisinetty kind of caramel, and be sweet enough but not too sweet, because that's kind of where this one lands. It gives you that illusion of that kind of aged old ale, but it doesn't give you a lot of those rich, kind of darker, richer fruits. It just gives you a bit more kind of that, again, confectionery style of sweetness in a good way. That doesn't come off too sweet, but at the same time, you know you're drinking something that's kind of desserty. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Didn't, down there, words and stuff. Or if you did, more words. Massive Beer is this dude. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Untapped, all those places you can find me. Plug my name in and say hi. And there you go. Another review down. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a nice Jenny right now. And hopefully see you next time. Cheers.